What's up? What's up? What's up, fam? I am so glad you all decided to join me on this 40-day journey into the purpose-driven life. I am so excited because I know that your lives will change. I know it's going to be transforming for you. And if you have started, because you have to have read at least chapter 1, because every day we're going to be going through one chapter. It's 40 days. We don't want to stretch it beyond, because sometimes 40 days is long enough, and so we don't want to stretch it beyond that, because we can lose a lot of things in the middle, in between. And so it's a challenge. I want you to take it as a challenge. And before I delve into my thoughts and my notes on the first chapter, some years ago, I saw something which Elon Musk said. I know, those are people who are doing big things, but Elon Musk said he had given himself a 30-day challenge to see if he could spend $1 a day on food. And if he could do that, then he was going to know that he will be able to succeed at whatever it is that he decided to do. So give yourself this 40-day challenge, so that you know that if you're able to go through these 40 days, you're going to be able to do anything that you set your mind to do. So that's how I want you to perceive it, and that's how I want you to walk into the purpose-driven life challenge, knowing that you're giving yourself these 40 days to transform your life completely. So let's get into it. Chapter 1. Pretty much chapter 1 states that it all starts with God. So let's get into it. Chapter 1 says it all starts with God. What does that mean? The writer is pretty much saying that God is the designer. I gave an analogy about a carpenter who sees a tree and has in his mind to make furniture. And because he has in his mind to make furniture, he has a purpose, he has a design, he has something in mind which he thinks that, oh, if I make this living room furniture or kitchen furniture or an outdoor furniture, whatever is in his mind is the purpose for that furniture. So it all starts with God, meaning that your purpose starts with God. And so for you to find your purpose, you have to go back to God. Now, the writer talks about the fact that finding our purpose is different from, self-help. A lot of self-help books tell us that, in order to find our purpose, we have to look at our goals, our likes, our passions, this and that. And all of that is good. But for us to understand our purpose, we have to go back to the designer, because the one who designed us knew what he had in mind for us. So my question to you, my first question is, where have you been going to look for your purpose? Have you been looking inwardly? Have you been looking at others to tell you? Have you been looking at whatever it is? Have you been looking at the areas where you're good at, your strengths, your weaknesses? All of those are good to understand who you are. But as far as your purpose is concerned, because when you look at your passions, your strengths and everything, yes, you could be good at so many things, but where does your purpose lie? It all begins with God. That's the first thing. The next thing is to understand that it's not about you. So if your purpose is in God and can only be found in God, then it's all about God and it's not about you. Because think about the fact that that carpenter, he had in mind to build, say, a living room furniture. So if you take a living room furniture and you put outside, or you put in the kitchen or something like that, it would not be serving the right purpose that was in the mind of the designer. So you have to go back to the designer, because he is the one who created or formed the furniture, and he's the one who has the right purpose for that. Next thing is, you and I were created by God for God. I know we live in a world where everyone wants to live for themselves. Everyone wants to do what they want to do. Everyone wants to be what they want to be. But how many of us have thought about the fact that the designer, our divine designer, has a purpose, and that purpose is that we should live for him. Another thing to note in this chapter is that the writer, Rick Warren, talks again about purpose versus success. A lot of people might be successful at one thing or the other. It doesn't mean that they are working in their purpose. And that is why sometimes people are successful, but you hear that they killed themselves. You hear that they do one thing or the other, because even though they are successful, success doesn't mean that you're working in your purpose. Trust me, when you're working in your purpose, no matter how challenging it is, because you have that sense of, this is what I was born for, this is what I was created for, that energizes you to keep going. Another thing is that we have to know that purpose is not just about the earth, but it is eternal. It is eternal. God has an eternal plan, not just for us to find fulfillment here on earth, which is very temporary, but because he is God eternal, his purpose is eternal. And so I want you, as you're reading through this chapter and as you're thinking about this, think about one question that can change your life is, have I been looking for my purpose for myself, within myself, or have I been asking my Creator, the one who had me in mind, what my purpose is? Because it all starts with God. What are your thoughts on this chapter? What are your thoughts on your purpose? What are your thoughts on this 40-day journey? I know it's challenging, but do you think you can make it? Do you feel worried? Just let me know. I will encourage you. And I want you to know that I am praying for you, that as long as you go through this journey, you will find fulfillment, meaning in life, and you will find your purpose. So that was Purpose Driven Life Day 1. I'm going to see you with a brief summary on Day 2.